context, I have not read the book that this is based on. I'm not familiar with it at all. This isn't like Curious George or Arthur or something that I grew up with reading as a kid. So I went into this movie with almost no idea of what it was about other than a singing crocodile. And the biggest problem with this movie is that it is live action. And as a live action film, the whole thing feels very off. You know, with live action, you at least have to follow some rules. You at least have to set up some rules and limitations for your movie, whereas in animation, sure, go as weird as you want. It's a cartoon, it's animated, you can do whatever you want. So if it had been animated, it would have made a lot more sense. A crocodile who doesn't speak English yet can somehow fluently sing in English? Odd choice, but okay. You know, in live action, that doesn't work. But if it had been fully animated, I would have been able to buy into it more. You know, the main character's mom is an artist who does all these illustrations of the crocodile, which I assume are just illustrations that they took from the book. And if the film had been animated more like that, I probably would have been able to get into it more. Now, there aren't any bad performances in this movie, but there are some odd choices, particularly with choosing Shawn Mendes as the crocodile. You can tell that he was chosen because he's a popular singer and not because he was necessarily a good fit for the part, because his voice does not fit for the way the character looks. And unfortunately, there is one musical sequence where they chose somebody who cannot sing at all. Like, there's a part where the main character's mom, played by Constance Wu, is doing this musical number with the crocodile, and it is a very charming scene, but Constance Wu is so off-key. As soon as she started singing, I couldn't help it. I involuntarily winced. She does not have a pleasant singing voice, and I was just praying for that song to be over. You know, the songs themselves, though, they're pretty catchy. This is the same songwriting team that did La La Land or The Greatest Showman, so these are fun songs to listen to when the people who are singing them can actually sing. Plot-wise, though, it's pretty generic. It's trying so hard to be the next Paddington. It's trying so hard to be this movie that's going to be this timeless classic for kids and adults. None of it comes off as genuine. It feels forced, like we're trying to force you to make this classic. It doesn't feel like this is just kind of a natural movie that they had a lot of passion for. This feels like they're trying to be Paddington, and it comes off more as Clifford the Big Red Dog, which is harsh, but it's not as painful as Clifford, but it is nowhere near as endearing as Paddington. It's somewhere in the middle. You know, it's pretty safe. You know, and honestly, it's hard for me to even know if I should recommend this just for kids, because adults are certainly not going to get anything out of this. And there were only a few people at my showing, and the entire theater was dead silent, including the kids in the audience, which for a kids' movie is a bad indication. Because even at the worst kids' movies, the kids in the audience generally still make noise, they still laugh, they still ask questions. So the fact that my theater was dead silent indicates to me that they were probably bored. But at least Sony, to some degree, is learning. You know, Sony has made far worse kids' films. Let's not forget, this is the same studio that did the Emoji Movie and the Angry Birds movie, and it's nowhere near as painful as those. But this is also the same studio that did Spider-Verse, which is an amazing movie. So this is kind of one of those, it's in the middle. You know, I'd say just wait for the red box, put it on in the background for your kids. It's harmless enough. Put it on while you go do something else. It'll shut your kids up for 90 minutes. For me, Lyle Crocodile gets a C+, a 7 out of 10, and a 3 out of 5 stars.